Hey there, good people, music lovers, clock collectors, and fine arts enthusiasts. Hey, how many of you got a elliptical exerciser down in your basement like this one right here? It's a beaut, ain't it? Do you actually know how to use this? Do you actually use it? Well, first part of this video, I'm going to demonstrate how this should be used. Just hang in there. If you got some delicates or you need a place to hang your coat, yeah, see that? Some sweaters. You put the sweaters on here. So you're trying to dry sweaters or something, you know, I'm going to put them in the dryer. You put one arm in here like this. Put your sweater on there like that. That's what these are good for right here. Guess who came home with a clock today? You'll never guess. And we're going to go take a look at it and see what we got. Hey, hang in there and don't go nowhere. Hey, and after this video, for the people who subscribe, there's going to be a big drawing. So stay to the end of the video for the big drawing. Before we get into the old workshop, I wanted to show you this little bit of a collection of Ingram gingerbread clocks I have. The one on the bottom left there, that's the first gingerbread clock I bought, and that was in our kitchen for years. Still works good. It's from 1919. Now the other two on the top and bottom right, those are some pretty old clocks. In fact, one of them has a tapered pin hanging the holding your hands on. I don't know what year. I think that one is from the 1800s. And okay, let's take a look in the workshop and see what we've got. See what I brought home today. Let's swing it around. There it is. Look at that. We were out bumming around today, the wife and I. We were out in Plymouth, Indiana, and we stopped into a place called Twice Treasured. And they're on 523 East Jefferson, and that's in Plymouth, Indiana. And I found this clock, and I'll show you the back of this thing. Look at this. Huh? What do you think about that? This is what got me interested right there. It doesn't have a key with it. However, let's turn this off. You can turn this off by hand here. It does have a pendulum. And it has some paperwork inside. It does have the pendulum, but I don't believe this pendulum actually went to this clock. But it does have a nice pendulum that came with it. And came with a few notes. This one here is kind of interesting. Found this in the back of the clock. Looks like a page out of an old book about antique clocks, probably New Haven clocks. Did I say this was an Ingram? It's a New Haven. I don't know. And let's lay this down. Here's our clock in question right here. If we could read about this, it's called an Auston. Looks like it's from 1917, and it's an eight-day half-hour strike. And I got a good deal on it. Still got a pretty nice face. Might have to touch that 3 up just a little bit, but this clock should clean up pretty good. Not sure it even runs. I just brought it downstairs and set it on the workbench. I'm going to plan on taking it apart and looking for a key for it and see if the movement runs, clean or oil the movement, whatever I got to do, clean or oil the case. It's got some nicks and scratches and things. We'll just touch those up, you know. Like I always say in my videos, hey, I don't restore clocks. All I do is get them running and I detail them out. And that's what I like to do. All right, back with this old clock here. I'm about ready to pull the movement out and take it all apart. But first I want to see if I got a key for it. And got my stack of stuff right here. Dump her out. Let's see. Oh, geez. Starting to get few and far between in my key collection. But that one there might do it. Let's just check it out. Oh yeah. Let's see. Hey, it does wind. Check that out. It's a double key. It's got a double end. See if this fits up here. And it does. You know, here lately, you buy a clock. They don't like to give the keys with the clocks anymore. Sometimes I will. If it's a clock that's well taken care of and that, but I try to look for the ones that need repair or need some loving, you know what I mean? So this key will go with this clock. But if you need to order a key, let me show you what to do. It's not a big deal. If you're working on clocks or you're collecting clocks, get yourself this set. These are the odd numbers. These are the even numbers. As you can see, it's a cluster of multi-keys for a clock. Okay? Don't use these for the clock. Oh, you can. But if you want to order a nice key for your clock, what you do is, I think this clock is a number 5. So here's the odd number keys. Let's just check that out and see. There. Number 5 fits that. Now when you go to order your key, you know it's a number 5. Because this thing is pretty accurate. And it's my go-to when I need a key. Now, this size up here, that's a whole different ball game right there. I'd have to dig back out. Let me see. Let's just take this key. This key's a number 8. It would work in this clock, but it's sloppy. You don't want to use a key that's sloppy because it will wear the winding armors down. You don't want that. But I think this end, it fits the top. Now these ends here do have a number on them, and that's a number 3. So that's something to keep in mind. So I would, to get this clock to work, I probably would have a number 5 on this end and a number 3 on this end. So also, let me get this out of the way. Also on this clock, people, you got an old clock, you got an antique clock. See that? You probably can't see it in the dark. That's a Phillips screw, man. That's taboo on an old clock. This is from 1917. They did not make Phillips screws in 1917. You can't see me. There you go. How's that? They did not make Phillips screws in 1917. Don't be sticking Phillips screws in your old clock. Went down to Cablin's Ace Hardware today. Got a sack of screws. It's a good place if you're in LaPorte County. Flatheads, short. And that's what you want. I keep my screws in here. I've got some brass screws, some short screws for doing bezels, faces, and that's what you want right there. All right, I'm going to start turning into this clock, and we'll catch up with you in a minute. All right, I'm taking the back off of this poor clock. I love this. At least the one positive thing with this that I can see, the guy's a coffee drinker. Look at that. That's probably off a Maxwell House can right there. That's all right. Now these old screws here, they're not bad. They're old round screws. I will put these screws in with my collection of screws, I'm not putting those screws back in because they don't belong in the back of this clock here. Now I know I did a little research on this clock, and the Auston, this one was from 1917, I guess, and it looks like they used, let me get a smaller screwdriver on the scene here. They used two different style backs on these clocks. One style I saw was a door that opened up like a timbre style clock with hinges on the side and a latch here. I don't know, once I take this off, maybe that's the way this door was, I don't know. But it doesn't look like it was. That might have been for a later model Auston New Haven clock, we'll see. But right away I can see this clock, the back is broken in two pieces. Somebody was probably working on it and went ahead and dropped it. Hey, I do that myself, so, you know. So what we're going to do is, I don't know if there were ever hinges on this one or not. It doesn't look like there ever was hinges on this one. I don't know if you can see that or what. Here, let's get a light. Let's get some light. Just old holes. There's no places for a latch or hinges. That's what it looks like. Got one spring unwound there, but I don't think that's much of a problem right there. Yeah, we're going to take the movement out. And what I'm going to do with the back of this thing, already ordered a door. A door on this style of clock would have the New Haven logo on it, which was a star. It's a star, and it's a 5-inch door. And you can see where the door was. It swung open, it was here, and then it caught on a latch right here, or maybe one or the other. Caught on a latch right here, and it swung open, and that's the way this clock was built. But as you see, it's in two pieces. I'm going to glue this and clamp it. Then when I put it back together, we're going to use this side here. We're going to use this side instead of there's too much going on this side here. Man, there's holes that look, you know, looks like it was in a drive-by shooting, you know. So we're gonna clean this side up, use this side, put some nice screws in that, and waiting on the door to come in, and that's what we got going on. All right, I'm taking the movement out of this clock here, and the screws inside they're not Phillips or anything, so I'll probably reuse them. It looks like they're new, but they're the right side. I wanted to show you, I showed you this in other videos before. But when you're working on a clock or something like that, you got I've got a variety of different kind of screwdrivers here. This I paid a lot of money for when I was an auto glass installer. I bet that's a $40 screwdriver made in Germany, magnetic, can change the tips, all of that. Got this one here, a ratcheting screwdriver, and then a long handle snap-on right there. Okay, that's all well and good. But when you're digging down in here, this screw, these are hemostats. They've got a spring metal to them. Back the screw out a little bit. Use these hemostats. Clamp on. They're not the screw's not going to fly out of there. And then you can do what you need to do. Get that out. Unlash that thing from the screw and put it to the side. It's that simple. And it makes you feel like a doctor, too, when you're working, you know. Get that big money, you know. But you just grab the screw, give it a spin, like this. You know, you don't even have to look, you know. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, I'm taking a screw out, you know. You don't even have to look. Bang, zoom, Alice, look at that. Makes life easy. We got enough stress in this world without fumbling around with a screw, you know? Bang, see that? Probably could find these at Walgreens or whatever. I don't know where you get. My wife was a nurse's aide years ago, and this is where these came from. So I've had this for a million years. course, you got to start the screw with a screwdriver, you know, turn it a couple of times. Don't just start trying to think you're going to get it out of there without turning the screw a couple of times, you know. All right, but don't take it out, then you're fishing for the screw, you know. There we go. There we go. Makes life easy. I don't have that many New Haven clocks. I do have a couple of nice ones, and I tell you what, I'm going to show them to you in just 1 second, okay? Just hang in there. All right, this is one New Haven clock I have right here, this gingerbread clock you're looking at. And I don't really know what year it is. It's a good runner, keeps really good time, but the curious thing about this is the model of it is the White Star Line. And as everybody knows, the White Star Line owned the Titanic. And I thought that was pretty curious when I bought that. It's got a label on the back saying White Star Line. And I guess they had, whatever the ocean liners were in those days, they had different companies that owned different ocean liners. And I think New Haven had a series of clocks named after those ocean liners. We've got one down here. That's from 1866. And that's a 30-hour. It runs real nice. And looking down here on the bottom, that's an 8-day clock right there with an alarm on it. That's also in New Haven. And that's I bought that from a lady on Marketplace for $15. And it took a fall off the shelf, and it was all in pieces. And it was black when I got it. As you can see, the veneer is pretty nice on it now. And I'll show you one more. Now here's a New Haven clock I've had for maybe a couple of years. It used to be in our dining room upstairs, and I've since moved it down here to the basement cave. And it's about from 1870, but this New Haven here is called a fusee clock. And what it has is when you wind it, you can see the winding armors. Let's get close here. See the winding armors up there. There's actually 2 pairs of winding, oh, you can't see anything. But anyway, it's got, the springs are down here, and those winding arbors are actually a cable. They have a spool with cables, and you wind them all the way up tight, and so it has, if you took that face off, there would be another set of winding arbors there to adjust the spring. And the spool is behind those winding arbors, and you wind it up. It's called a fusee clock. All right, let's get back to work on that old New Haven I just bought. All right, as you can see, I got the back off of the clock, and you remember where it was split. I got it glued. At the end of this table here, there's a clamp vise on here. It's got some studs, or you could use wood dowels. But it's got these studs on here, and went ahead and tightened that up, and so it wouldn't bulge up, I put the clamps on here, and we'll let that sit for a while. And while that glue's drying, we'll work on the clock case. I got the bezel off of it, and we'll just shine this bezel up a little bit. Face doesn't look too bad. Numbers are fairly good, and the movements, I checked the escapement wheel on this style of clock. The escapement wheel's up here, and it looks okay. I'll give that a good cleaning and oil it up, but the case is, we'll have to rub on this a little bit and get this dark off of here a little bit. There's nothing wrong with the finish, and then once we do that, all these places you see here will touch up. See that? It's kind of beat up here and there. And alrighty, let's get busy. Alright, just give the old clock case a rub down, trying to get some of that black off of there. I just use a little spray away glass cleaner. And very, very extra fine steel wool. We're going to rub this off and dry it down, and then we're going to put a coat of Johnson paste wax on that and buff it out. Let's see what happens. kind of an automotive technique here. It don't take much. But you want to make sure you got really fine steel wool. Don't just get some coarse for scouring. Get it for polishing. And it says it on the bag. You look at the bag, you can determine what you need there. You know, glass cleaner, there isn't much, the formula isn't much on glass cleaner. It's just a mild soap and a little water. Sometimes it's got ammonia in it. Like I said, I don't restore them, I just detail them. And just, you know what, you don't know where this clock has been. Cigarette smoke, kitchen grease, who knows, you know. From 1970 till now, there's a lot of stuff that accumulates on the surface of a piece of wood, you know. Actually, now that I've got the dirt cut out of here, you can see this clock was made out of, it was actually a two-tone clock. The bottom is a lighter colored wood than the top is. This part here is a lot darker than this part. If you can see, this part is a lighter green or a lighter wood than this here. And the back here is the different color than this and this. It has three different style or three different color woods on this. This would have been a really pretty clock in its day. I snuck this glass cleaner down. My wife don't know I have it. She thinks she's got it upstairs, but you got to do one of these, you know. Alright, I'm going to turn this video off right now because this is probably just like watching paint dry. So I'll turn it back on when I get to the next step. Talk to you in a minute. The next thing I'm going to do to this poor old clock is got some turtle wax, rubbing compound. You would use it on a car. I'm not trying to ruin the finish on this. All I'm going to try to do is get the years and years of dirt off of it. There's hope for this thing yet. And this has got kind of an oily base to it, so. I think that's enough. They don't go down to bare wood, you know, that'd be crazy. Now we'll get the heavy equipment out on this thing. This is furniture polish, little furniture polish cleaner or whatever. Get that stuff off of there. There's a part right here I don't understand. It's kind of never did shine up. All right, I don't know if you can see all this or not, but as you can see, has two colors of wood right there now. This was all black and everything. This part here, I might have to work on that a little bit right here. Something got on there and caused an abrasion or something through the years. But anyway, it lightened it up a little bit, kind of shined it up a little bit, and that's what we got so far. Okay, I got to the bottom of this clock, and let me point out something to you. Can you see these feet here? They're made of wooden discs, right here. Okay, this one's broke right here. You see that? Half of it's broken. Instead of trying to find something to replace it with, or take all these four off, what I am going to do is, if you see this black tape around here, I took this black tape right here, and I wrapped it around this one here, all the way around. Then I took it off and I put it on this one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some of this stuff. If you ever use this stuff, it's pretty good stuff. Durham's Rock Hard Water Putty, and it's in Spanish in case you can't read the English. You mix some of this up. I'm going to paddle it in there. It doesn't take long to dry. And once that dries, like the can says, it's rock hard. So I will paddle that in, let this sit until it dries. Then I will peel this tape off, and then I'll paint that right there. So you won't be able to barely see that I had made or repaired that little foot there. And it'll only take a second. And by the way, if you go to the hardware store, I got this over at Cablin's Ace Hardware over in LaPorte. And I think this thing is like $2 or something, $2 or $3. Man, that's some good stuff right there. Okay, as you can see, I got that little foot repaired right there. Just let that stuff get hard, and then we'll file the excess down. It's fairly round there, and it doesn't take long for the stuff to dry. Here's what it looks like. When I use this stuff, one of my problems is I always make too much. But you can get it in any consistency. But when this stuff dries, it's like plastic when it dries. Looks like this in the can. It's just powder. And here's something. Ever try to open a paint can, or you need to open a paint can and you need one of these, because this is the tool that opens a can like this. The other day I wanted to open a gallon of paint, and I had to look high and low for one of these in the house. You know, I had 5 of these hanging in the garage on a nail. So I brought one in, and I'm taking care of this one. All right, I got the clock case cleaned up the best I could. Let's put some light on it. That's the best I could get it. I'll show you how those feet came out if you don't mind looking at my feet. Okay, you probably can tell which one it is. This one right here. But anyway, that's how the foot came out. A little brown paint on that. Hold on a second. There we go, that looks a lot more inconspicuous. Also, clean this back door up on that. That's the way that's gonna look. Got the metal door ordered for it. Put some new screws in there, should be nice. No Phillips screws. And I'm about ready to put that movement in. Alright, I got the old 1917 New Haven Auston model clock going. Kind of a cute little clock, not real fancy. I got the door back on. I turned the door around backwards. I re-glued the door together. I'm waiting on the 5-inch pan to go on the back here. I got the key to it. Got the pendulum on. It's in beat, as you can hear. And it's running good. Let me turn it around and you can see the face of it. And it's still got some bumps and dings on it, but it looks like it's going to run pretty good. I'm going to take it upstairs tonight and find a place for it and let it run. See what kind of time we got on it. Hey, I appreciate you watching this. And hey, stay tuned right after this video. For subscribers, there's going to be a big drawing. So stay tuned. All right, everybody, it's time for the big drawing. Get ready. Isn't it a beaut? Hey, have a safe and happy Christmas. Take care. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe. I appreciate it. Bye now.